Hey everybody, thanks for checking in for a trout strike fly tying video. It's been a while since I've put out a tying video. I've done a lot of fishing videos, but wanted to share with you guys today a Perdigon pattern that I've developed. It's a blue Perdigon, a Blue Flash Perdigon. Extremely simple. Nothing too crazy here, but just something that I wanted to share and a really easy technique for the wing casing. I had been using a variety of products to get that black wing case, and what I found is that it just seems to, no matter what I do to it, if it sits in my box for an extended period of time, it just tends to chip off. So I really don't think you need that anyway, but I found a new way to put it in, so let's get after it here. So I'm going to start the tie with some Uni-Thread in blue. This is a 6/0, but the color is essential. I like this blue color, so I'm going to just start. I have a slotted, this is a big version. This is a size 12 with a 3/8 bead. I wanted to make it big for the video. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of get some thread wraps in behind the bead to lock that in place, and I'm going to just start my taper. As you can see, I'll go down the shank of the hook. This is a bigger fly, so I do want to build a little bit. I want to keep it thin, but I want to build a little bit. So I'll just keep going up to build that really nice taper, and then I will come back down. All right, okay, so don't need that. Tried to break that clean, but it didn't want to work out. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to use some, as I always do with Perdigons, some Coque de Leon. So I'm going to get a few fibers. On smaller flies, I tend to use fewer fibers. On a bigger fly like this, I'm going to grab, you know, six or seven of these Coque de Leon fibers, and I'm going to try to make my tail about the length of the shank of the hook. I'll get that in there with 2 wraps, kind of eyeball that, and I like the way that looks. Now I'm going to counter spin the thread, and then I'm just going to wind that up just to get all those tail fibers locked in, build them into the fly. They become part of the taper. That's going to lead me right into the next step. I'm just going to try to go nice and slow for you here. All right, so I'm going to just pull them out. All right, so the next thing I'm going to use, I've got that blue underlayment, and I'm just going to use some Sulky. This is the silver metallic. This is kind of a transparent. It's a transparent material, so you'll be able to see that blue right through it. So I'm just going to start with a little bit of that. I'm going to put that right into the slot. And again, I'm going to lock that in with 2 turns. I'm going to just make sure my thread's flattened out. I'm going to lock that in going down. All right, give another quick turn. Make sure that thread stays nice and flat. I'm going to come back up. All right, I'm going to lock that into place. So I'm going to use my rotary feature, and I'm going to take my time here, and I'm going to leave a little bit of blue in the back there, almost as a hot spot, if you will. But then I am going to just slowly wind this up the body of the fly. And this Sulky is transparent, so it gives that little bit of flash that you want, but it doesn't hide that color. You want that blue color to shine through. So once I get up to the bead, I'm going to hold it. I'm going to lock it in. Just 1 turn will lock it in, but I'm going to double it up with the 2nd turn. I'm going to pull it out of the way. I'm going to lock it with 2 more in the front. And I'm going to snip that off. All right, so this is the part that saves a lot of time. All right, I am now going to use a Sharpie, and I'm going to use a black Sharpie here, and I'm just going to color a good length of my thread. That way I don't even have to, if I can find any way to save time, I will, especially when I'm tying in bulk. So instead of changing out to black thread, you simply just use that Sharpie. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create my black wing case out of the blackened thread. And what I have found is that this is just as effective as using the Loon Flow or whatever it is that you wanted. I've tried Loon, I've tried Solarez, I've tried even nail polish. And what tends to happen then is that finish chips off after a while. So I get that in there, and then I'm just going to whip finish this. The other thing I like about this is as this fly is drifting, it's riding upside down, it's riding right side up, and every which way. And this way, that black wing case is going to show up to the fish either way. So I'm going to just use my smaller scissors, try to trim that little piece out of there, not because I think it affects the fish, but just because I'm being fussy. All right, and then the last step of this is I'm going to use a bodkin, and I'm going to use some Loon Flow, and then I am going to generously coat this fly with just a clear UV. And I'm just going to get a nice even coating. That taper is already built in, so I don't need to try to build up anything. All right, so once I get that, time to zap it with my infinity light. Just make sure you cure it. Sometimes I get a little impatient. Probably should give it 10 to 15 seconds, really let that harden. And that's it, man. It's quick. Like I said, you can knock a bunch of these out. I'm going to push that tail up a little bit, but you can knock these out really, really fast. Perdigons, again, are just that style of fly. I like to use Perdigons in heavier, faster water where I know I need to get down to depth, which this time of year isn't really an issue, being that there isn't a whole lot of water in the rivers. But anyway, just wanted to share that with you. This is the Blue Flash Perdigon. So hope you enjoyed the video. If so, give it a like, give me a thumbs up, and hit that subscribe button. Thanks, everybody.